Hello, my sweet summer children. Father's Day's coming up, and your daddy is wondering what you guys are getting me. I personally forgot to get my own dad something for Father's Day. It's in June, Father's Day. I guess that works. So I designed him a coffee mug on my Printify, and I'm getting that for him. So if you guys forgot to get your dad something for Father's Day, go to my Printify store, get something. And you'll be feeding two birds with one stone, because you'll be getting your dad something, and you'll be giving your daddy something too. Makes you think about it. Breakfast today, we've got the bowl. We've got 3 eggs, 180 grams of 93.7 beef, and some ketchup to tie it all together. Because boys, we gotta fuel ourselves for a deadlift day. Because our coach blue balled us with deadlifts from the floor. We're back to doing deficits. I'm gonna cry about it a little bit. Ah, phooey. It's raining pretty hard and it's supposed to be thunderstorms today. So I guess Buddy's not getting his walk. I'm sorry, Bud. I'm sorry. He likes the sound of the rain, though. You can see that tail going. Right, Bud? Yeah. I'm sorry. And to finish off our morning food, we've got 2 bagels with jelly. It's supposed to be with honey, but I got tired of honey getting in my beard. And it's either lose the beard or substitute out the honey. And I don't look good without a beard. I don't look good with a beard, but I look even worse without one. He does this when he doesn't completely understand a bone. He's got that little ring bone right in front of him. Yeah. Time to eat. There's not a single thought behind those eyes. Anyways, we've got the bowl. We've got Captain Crunch berries, 200-ish grams. You know, measuring error. And then 16 ounces of fat-free Fairlife milk. Pre-training meal for a good deadlift session coming up. Let's go, boys. So we're on our way to the gym now. After our post-training meal, we took our pre-workout nectar from Better Through Biology. Not gonna video that. Coach blue-balled me. He straight up blue-balled me. Last week, we had all of our pulls from the floor. After doing 7 weeks of pulls from a deficit. And I was like, awesome, we're getting back into the actual lift, deadlifting from the floor. And then I looked at program today. He gave me back my legs for bench. And last week was a fun program. Last week was a very positive program. We had sets of 4 for squats, which for some people that's a lot, but when you're coming from sets of 8, it's not that much. And we were above 600 pounds for that. And this week we dropped back down to 525 for sets of 8. Ugh, gross. And then bench, he gave us back our legs. And that was super exciting. But the amount of trust I have right now, coach, he's gonna blue ball me on that too. Next week we're probably gonna go back to Larson presses, just because that's what he did with squats and deadlift. Because last week we pulled from the floor. This week we went back up to sets of 8s on squats, and we're pulling from a deficit again this week. So I'm a little I'm sad. It's exactly what I need, but I'm sad because he's working my weak points, not my fun points. And that's why you don't train yourself, because you tend to emphasize your fun points rather than your weak points. But if we were gonna just do what we wanted, we wouldn't have a coach and we wouldn't progress anyways. So ain't nothing to it but to do it. Let's go, boys. Oh, also because of the rain, we have to do some pre-training cardio, because usually my pre-training cardio is taking Buddy for a nice long walk. And also we're gonna have to do some post-training cardio because it's raining, and usually that pre-training Buddy walk gets me pretty close, if not all the way to the 10,000 step goal that I have every day. So we got a hot date with the treadmill. yeah. But luckily, I started a new audiobook, third book in the Last Horizon series by Will White, The Night. And so far it's pretty good. I mean, it's Will White, so everything he puts out is going to be pretty good. He's the king of progression fantasy. That's a fact. And progression fantasy is my favorite genre of books. So, if you are willing to get an addiction to audiobooks, go listen to, I'd say, any Will White books. I haven't listened to all of his books, but if you want specifically to get addicted, listen to his Cradle series. Starts with Unsold. Or the Last Horizon series, which is not complete yet because he puts out a new book every 6 months. That's his goal as an author. He wants to put out the best 6-month book. And he's pretty much the king of that. It's kind of spooky how good these books are for putting out a new book every 6 months. It's amazing. I don't know how he does it, but I want to beat him. I'm actually writing my own book in the progression fantasy genre, and I don't quite know what to title it because I also want to do the audiobook narration version of it, post it onto YouTube, like 1 chapter a week. It's 36 chapters long, so I think I'd be able to get to 52 chapters for a year-long book by the time I'm like getting to all caught up. So I don't know what to title it. So it's hard for you to write your own quick story blurb because so you've got this character, Key. She's basically an outcast in her society because she was born with a certain hair color, which means that her dad killed herself because he didn't want to be part of the suffering, the character development of the main character, which turned out to be a character development point for the main character. And then her mom dies, and she basically becomes an orphan, and she gets all the magic and whatever in the world is believed to come from pairing off with a familiar, and she tries to steal a familiar, and the patriarch of the clan comes and is like, "Hey, no." And then she's like, "Okay, fine." But the ceremony to pair off young people with familiars happens, and within the same day, the clan gets attacked. Everyone except for a handful of people get captured. Everyone except for a handful of people die. Everyone else gets captured, and they get put into fight rings. And then there's also a parallel story of bureaucracy going on in the city that sent the troops, or the attacking force, to capture the clan. And there's bureaucracy there too. So I don't know what to title it. I don't even know what because when I post it onto YouTube weekly, I'm gonna want to have a book cover or something, some sort of art to pair with the audio, so that, I mean, no one's gonna be watching the video. It's just gonna be a still frame, but just so that people know what they're watching or listening to while they go about their day. So, and then eventually get it actually published into physical form and kind of serialize it into a series of books, you know? That's the goal. And I started this because I was told that I need to express my feelings and write down how I'm feeling. And I was like, journaling is gay. I'm not doing that. So I decided to start writing stories instead, and I was able to get out my frustrations out on the characters. So there's that. But I'm also noticing that a lot of the series, or not series, the books that I'm listening to or reading at the time are in fact influencing the structure of, not the structure, but almost like the mood of each chapter. Like chapter 2 was written while I was reading the ending of 1984. And if you've ever read 1984, you'll just be like, you're starting off a book with that? Okay there, mister. Okay. But I'm pretty much at the gym. So if you guys have any ideas for a title for a story like that, I'm all ears, because I do not know how to title a book whatsoever, and I don't even have a single idea. I don't even have any inclinations as to what I should call it, or how I should go about getting the title art. So let me know what you guys think. But it's deadlift time. Let's go. My children, when you are aiming for progress, there are 3 kinds of days. There are good days, there are bad days, and there are character building days. Now, the good days are pretty easy to find. It's where everything's clicking, everything's moving good, everything feels good, and you're feeling pretty fine. Bad days, they're awful. That's all I have to say about them. But character building days are, they're hard to distinguish, because if you take a step back, they're good days. You did everything. But they're also bad days because everything didn't go as planned. Now, today was a character building day. It wasn't a good day. It wasn't a bad day. But we learned a little bit about ourselves. So, we had 3x3, 565, 567 because kilos are stupid. And how did that feel? Didn't feel super good. It felt heavy, it felt hard, and it was 80 degrees in the gym and 100% humidity. That doesn't sound like a good day, does it? But we did everything. Everything looked pretty good and everything felt pretty snappy. It was just a bit of a slog, for lack of a better term. And yes, I do have my seatbelt on. So those of you who have been complaining, suck it. So it was hot, it was humid, and we discovered things about ourselves, and that being we are very stubborn. And it's something that you have to rediscover over and over again, that you're stubborn, until it finally hits that maybe you are stubborn. But we didn't lack on anything. We didn't slack on anything. We didn't pull anything back. We just plugged, we chugged, and we followed through with everything, despite the environmental conditions not being super favorable. However, we are expected to be aware that the environmental conditions are not going to be favorable moving forward, because it's June. It's June, and we've got June, July, August, and a bit of September before environmental conditions are going to start looking a little favorable. The gym, it has AC, but the AC is awful. That's not on the gym, that's on the landlord, and it keeps breaking. And the gym is next to a beef chip kitchen, for lack of a better term, where they slice beef real thin and make it into beef jerky, crunchy beef jerky. So it's beef chips. They're actually pretty tasty. But set 1, 567 point whatever. It felt pretty good. I'm having a little bit of trouble remembering how it went, but I didn't immediately go and send it to my coach for immediate or out of desperation, or like, you know, when you want to when you are good at communicating with your coach, you send them stuff at a rate in accordance to how things are feeling or how things are going, basically. Where if things are going bad, you're going to send them stuff faster because you want solutions. You want either verification that things are supposed to go bad or whatever. So I forgot to send him set 1 until after set 2, and I was like, oh yeah, I was supposed to do that. And I mean, set 2 moved pretty good, and set 3 we were pretty tired. We were pretty drained at that point. We weren't tired. It was just more of it's a different tired than normal, because I was absolutely soaked by my bodily fluids. Sweat. Don't, this, boys, no. But we got through the 3x3. Actually, nothing noteworthy happened in that. But what happened in the following set, which was 496, it was 495, but 496, 495 was programmed, 496, 7x1, 60 seconds rest. Usually when I do these, 60 seconds is a lot less time than you would really think when it comes down to rest time. When you're doing planks, 60 seconds is a long time. When you're doing anything of worth, 60 seconds is actually pretty long. When you're doing sprints, 60 seconds is pretty long. When you're going down on your girl, 60 seconds is not really that long. Depends on whose shoes you're in at that point. Because your girl will be like, oh, you said you went for 5 minutes, but it was only like 5 seconds. Or like how long you last. Oh yeah, totally 15 minutes. Nah. It was 15 pumps, homie. But so when I go about doing these 15-second rest sets, I'm supposed to take. There's a clock in the corner of the gym, and when I do timed rest periods, like 90-second rest, 2-minute rest, and on the 3x3 it was 4 minutes rest. I check that clock, I do the math, and I'm like, okay, I go at this time, or I start to get ready at this time. But with these 60-second rest sets, 60 seconds isn't that much time. You've got time to take a sip of water, you got time to chalk your hands, and by then you're probably over 60 seconds already. So I kind of go however I feel like, as long as it's less than 60 seconds. So I don't look at the clock. I'll take a sip of water, I'll chalk my hands, I'll do this, I'll do that. As long as I feel ready to go, that's when I'll go. I might take an extra second to take a breather, which I did a couple times. It was hot in there. Even the most, conservative females in there were like, we're doing this in a sports bra. Which, it's my opinion that if a gym allows their female clients to go in shorts and sports bras, it's the same as a man going in shorts and no shirt. It's the same thing. So it was hot, everyone was sweating, and it was a little more draining than usual. So, but going from a deficit, because the 567 was a 3x3 deficit, and the 7x1 60 seconds rest was from the floor. So the first kind of like 4, maybe 5 reps, they didn't feel super good. Rep 1 felt good, rep 3 felt good, and then rep 6 and 7 felt good. But it was kind of, reps 6 and 7 only felt good because we got forced into a situation where it was, okay, we're tired, and we've got to acknowledge that we're tired, and we've got to lean into being technically efficient. And that is a good thing. That is a good thing. If we are cognizant of being technically efficient and we get ourselves into situations like that more often, then the frequency of us being technically efficient is going to rise, and we're going to be in a good situation. And we're also building our character, because we have to be that way because we're tired or fatigued or drained or exhausted. Whatever excuse you want to put there, do the work. It's not an excuse, it's a variable to overcome. So it was good. And then I had to leave the gym for about 40 minutes and pick someone up from work, drop them off at their home, and then go back to the gym. And I was like, I'm a little stiff right now. I have a lot of cardio to do today, so I'm going to do 10 minutes of light walking. And I did 10 minutes of light walking pre-training as well. So we've got about 20 minutes of light walking under our belt, and then we finished off our accessories. It was the prone leg adductions, banded adductions, supersetted with heel raised goblet squats. Those are just builders we're working on, kind of dealing with the patellar tendonitis that we have going on. That's especially bad in my left knee, and trying to reduce the inflammation in the tendons around there by increasing the elasticity of the muscle groups surrounding those tendons. That's the quads, the hamstrings, and the calves. And we finished off with 4x12 of calves. I don't like my setup for calves. It's not super good because I'm doing so much walking with Buddy and on treadmills that the sole of my Crocs are losing their tread a lot faster than previously, which is kind of weird in my opinion. But so it's basically where I'm setting my foot on the leg of the monolift is a little less frictiony because there's no tread there. So I'm having to, I just realized I get a free meal, a D-Flex meal. Yes. 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 So the tread on the Croc is a little less frictiony than I would like, and it slides a little bit on the nice smooth powder coated finish of the leg of the monolift. So I mean, there's got to be a better way to do it. Probably add a mat or something to increase the friction and to get that, because training calves is one of those things. It's not a lot of people do it, but it's actually pretty important, because if you have patellar tendonitis like me, it's because the tendons around your knee, they attach elsewhere, and the muscles can tighten them if they're too tight and they're not elastic enough. And I skipped out training calves forever because it was the meta of powerlifting to not train calves. It's a waste of time. And so I would rarely train my calves. And when you train your calves and you do an extended range of motion, like I've been trying to get, it's a little hard with the slipping of the Croc. I need to find a better solution for doing the calf raises. But when you get that extended range of motion, you increase the flexibility in your calf muscle, which increases the elasticity, which means at rest, it's pulling on the tendons around your patellar tendons less. So you're basically doing rehab work while working on building muscles. So when you train your quads, you want to do the same thing. You want an extended range of motion. You want to build up elasticity in your quads, because at rest, you'd want them to be pulling on your patellar tendons less. You want the system of muscles surrounding your patella to be not stressful. You want it to be nice and relaxed. You don't want to have to be fighting with muscular tightness, creating tendonitis in your whatever tendons are tight. Because when your muscles are tight, they're pulling on the tendons never have enough time to be relaxed enough to get the hydration and recovery that they need in order to perform better. So they become inflamed. When they become inflamed, that's when pain occurs. So we're treating my patellar tendonitis by increasing the elasticity in my quads and in my calves by doing things like, on my squat days, we've got contralateral split squats where I'm trying to get more and more range of motion going on in there, and it hurts every time. Things like doing really light leg press. I did my pre-fatigue work today was light leg press supersetted with banded lat prayers. I didn't video that because it's kind of, it's boring to watch. It's nothing interesting. It's just pre-fatigue work, but it's dynamic pre-fatigue work. And we're trying to get a massive range of motion going on in there and get as deep as possible. I go full relaxed at the bottom to try and get as much stretch in my quad as possible with my knees tracking over my toes in that leg press. 99% of people don't use the leg press correctly. It's a tool for stretching, not a tool for building your ego. But anyways, I've been ranting at you guys for 14 minutes. I just got home and I get a free meal. I got to decide what I want for this free meal. I'm really excited for this free meal. I don't know what to get. But I'll meet you guys with something. Whether or not I'm doing work or if I'm getting my free meal. I'll let you guys know.
Key turning point. With one less foe to face, his task just got a lot easier.
I'm sorry. I couldn't figure out what was going on.
It's fine. There wasn't much you could do. Looks like our lead bullets caught them by surprise. They seem shook. Yeah.
Somebody's out? Who?
Kotaro from Takizaki's squad.
Serves them right.
We don't have time for smack talk. We are in the middle of a battle here.
Our partnership with the other squad will have him pointless unless we eliminate that sniper.
I know that. What if we just ignore Nikuma and go straight for her?
If we leave him alone, he'll be free to set up traps all over the map. We'll be dodging wires until we run out of Triar. He's a pest, but he's also the easiest to defeat, so we might as well get rid of him once and for all. Rokura, keep the sniper focused on you. Yuta and I will cut the wire.
Boys, landlords hooked us up. They got a 30 count of Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets, and they didn't finish it, and they were like, hey, do you want the rest of these? And I was like, hell yeah, I do. And a DiGiorno's pizza. Tasty. Chick-fil-A pizza. Yeah. And just like that, we're done for the day. And it's time for bedtime. Time for me to edit this and get this out. So, like the video, leave a like, subscribe, share with your mom, since she's the only one who will care about this. Your friends don't need to know. Your friends don't need to know where you're getting all your super secret information. I'm just letting Buddy inside because it's time for bed. See you guys in the morning.